What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Dirtnation Off-Road. So the purpose of this video, before we get into that, couple things. So as you can see, you got my nice beautiful hatch right behind me. Now with that is I want to announce that we have a new channel. So this is something that me and George started doing. Obviously Dirtnation Off-Road is meant for the off-roading stuff, and that's what we're doing all the time. We're doing that every weekend. But on the side, George actually does track days and he does racing and stuff like that. So we have a channel dedicated to that. Now the channel name is Boost Addict Media. I'll put links to the channel below. We just released our third episode. Really fun channel. The editing style is the same. It's me and George running it. So if you like Dirtnation, if you like what we're doing here, go ahead and check out that channel. So thank you guys for that. Second thing, I'm using a new camera. So as you can see, it might look a little different, might sound a little different, but I'm using the GoPro Hero 7 with a mic on the top, as you can hear me tapping it. So give me some feedback. If the camera looks good, let me know. If it doesn't look good, let me know. I'll go back to the RX 100, but you know, just trying out something new, so we'll go from there. Now anyways, the purpose of this video is my 2017 Tacoma is about to reach 35,000 miles. Now it's gonna run out of warranty, and what I want to give you guys is kind of a damage report on what's happened to the truck, what's been fixed, what's you know, still lingering issues, you know, just so you guys can have a feeling of what's going to happen to your truck if you're constantly off-roading every weekend and you're abusing it, and what are the kind of things that you can expect to see on your truck. Because I have about 40-50 off-roading trips under my belt with just this truck, so I can give you a pretty good idea of the kind of things that you can expect. So let's take a look at that. Now the first thing that I'll talk about with the truck is scratches. Now, when you're constantly off-roading, you're kicking dirt at your truck and mud and sand and all these, you know, different types of tree branches, you're definitely going to get some scratches. You're going to get some pinstripes. It's just going to happen. It's not going to make the truck look pretty, but it happens. So as you can see, like on the fender right here, there's a nice scratch going across. You know, I got some on the mirror right here. You know, I'll roll some more shots of some right here. It's just pretty common. So I have one right here, got a big one. This was from a rock that got kicked up at me. It was a Tundra that was doing some donuts at Azusa Canyon. But it can be expected. If you're off-roading constantly, you're going to definitely get some scratches. Next up is this front plastic lip. Now, this thing falls off pretty darn easily. It's pretty common to see Tacomas without them, or they just replace the bumper entirely, because this thing does fall off pretty easily. The clips are pretty cheap, so as soon as you hit something, I think I was climbing a hill in Azusa Canyon, and you know, I knocked it loose on the bottom. As soon as I got, you know, back to the staging area, I just ripped the whole thing off. You'll see in a couple videos that I have that I'm not even rocking this thing. I ended up just putting it back together with some self-tappers and some 3M tape. So there's 3M tape all along here to glue it back together. It's not on there perfect, but it does the job. Also, shout out to George for scratching my truck. That's why the Hoonigan sticker is there, just to cover that up. So the next thing is wheels. So 3 out of my 4 wheels are pretty much trash when it comes to looks. As you can see right there, I got those nice gouges. Those are from pre-running out in the desert. I hit a rock or something, I'm not even sure what. But as you can see on these ones, this is our most recent trip to Pilot Rock Truck Trail. Now, it's pretty common, you know, if you get stuck and you start revving to get out of there, you're going to start scratching some stuff. So you can see all the scratches. This was me when I was stuck in a hole trying to get out, and I'm just scratching up my tire. And over here, you can see it's same thing, except this one was on a rock. So this is kind of a bigger gouge. So you have that right there, and it goes all the way through here. So these rims are pretty much trash. So rim companies, hit me up. I'm definitely looking for some new wheels if you want to, you know, work out a sponsorship. Just kidding, not really. Next thing after that is probably my most visible scars. Now, I'm still not sure exactly what I hit, but I got that one right there and that one right there. So definitely you want to make sure you have sliders, especially if you're doing all the crazy stuff that I do. Now, I made the mistake of not having sliders. As you can see, I still don't, but that'll be the next purchase. But you know, stuff like that happens sometimes, you know, no big deal. We'll roll with that. Okay, next thing is the back area of the car. So we'll start off with down here. So my towing points, I was pulling somebody out at Azusa Canyon, ended up bending it a little bit. You know, stuff happens. And then, you know, if you guys watch some of my older videos, you'll know what happened with the tailgate and the bumper. So I was actually rear-ended while off-roading. So I had to replace the entire tailgate, and then I replaced the bumper. So I got this steel bumper from Fab4 off Amazon. Now this thing's pretty great. You know, I don't have the sensors or anything like that to put in there. You know, I didn't really put my towing stuff in there. It's just lazy move on my part, but I mean, this bumper's great. You know, I still ding it up a little bit. You know, as you can see, it's got some little love taps here and there, but you know, this thing works great. It's steel. It's ready for you know, next time somebody wants to hit me, they're gonna get hurt. Now, something I can't really show you because I recently got the wrap is you know, if you're doing like a lot of pre-running, or if you're out in the dunes and doing stuff like that, it's common for your tires to start kicking up sand right here, and all this stuff will be scratched up. But mine was pretty scratched up, but obviously I used the wrap to kind of cover it up, so I'm gonna have, you know, protection on one half of my truck, so that's good. I don't know what I'm gonna do about the other half. Whatever, send it, right? Next, looking at the inside of the vehicle, I mean, it still looks pretty new, smells pretty good in here, but when you're constantly off-roading, something you got to worry about is obviously your floor mats. Now, I have the all-season ones. Shout out to that guy for being loud. I have the all-season mats. You know, I do clean them quite a bit. Sometimes they still get dirty or they stay dirty, so you just got to make sure you detail those. And as well as, you know, down here, you're gonna have sand, you're gonna have all that stuff, especially underneath here. You know, stuff just gets trapped, and you know, you gotta sit there and vacuum it for a while just to get it out of there. Same with the back seat. You know, a little bit of sand here, a little bit of sand there, and you know, that stuff's just going to build up when you're constantly off-roading and you're constantly doing stuff. That's going to happen. So okay, next thing, we're actually inside the truck now with it running. So is this warning that I get. It says check vehicle stability control system. So this happened a couple months ago when I was pre-running. I haven't taken it to the dealer yet. I do plan on doing it, but it's a pretty interesting problem. It's eliminated my traction control, and I don't have crawl control, and when I drive, my steering wheel is like this when I drive straight. So if you guys have any insight on that, definitely comment below. That'll help out a lot. But I'll definitely make a full video on this when I actually figure out what it is and what you need to do to fix it, because it's a pretty interesting problem. You know, the truck still drives straight, but I did lose a couple features, so that tells me that I either tweaked something with my ABS, or maybe I bent part of my steering, bent a spindle, bent something. Once I figure out exactly what I did, I'll definitely, like I said, make a video on it, and we'll see what happens from there. So we'll move on to the next thing. Next up is the engine bay. Now, as you can see, it is pretty cruddy, pretty dirty in here, but actually not that bad considering it's an off-road vehicle. So, you know, most people are not too okay with like pressure washing and washing your engine that way. If you go mudding and you're going like in places like Big Bear where there's snow and you're constantly hitting puddles and you're, you know, sending it through those and getting, you know, mud all over your engine, it's kind of necessary to pressure wash it once in a while. You know, obviously you want to make sure you cover up your connections. You know, ignore all my crappy wiring right here, but you know, you want to cover up your connections here. You want to cover up your alternator. You know, anything that's gonna, you know, short out or mess up, you want to make sure you cover those things. But this was recently rinsed off, and as you can see, it is still pretty dirty, so I could definitely go through it one more time. Shout out to Azusa Mud. Always getting trapped inside here. But yeah, looks like junk. But that's the name of the game. Now, the last place that we'll go is underneath the truck. Now, once again, shout out to Azusa Mud. It's actually not too prominent right now because I did clean underneath here and we had a lot of rain. So, and Azusa's been closed, so it's not too bad. But the biggest thing that I want to point out down here is right there. So I'll try and get a little closer to that. That's my transfer case. So that's my rear drive shaft going into my transfer case, and that's leaking right now. So that's something that I got to get taken care of. It's not leaking too bad, but it definitely is leaking. If you look at the diff, it's not leaking, so that's good. You know, my shocks are kind of beat up from all the sand and everything going like that, but you know, not too bad. I mean, scraped up my diff a little bit. As you can see, you know, there's a couple rust spots on there from it hitting, but you know, nothing too bad. It actually looks pretty good under here. But when you're constantly off-roading, you know, you always want to check underneath. Make sure there's no leaks. You know, I have a buddy of mine, he recently went to Cleghorn with us, and after the trip, he noticed that his axle was leaking. Turns out his whole diff was leaking, and he had to replace his axle, had to replace the seals. So just make sure you're constantly checking that stuff, because sometimes things start leaking. You know, when you lift your truck and you start abusing it, things are going to break. All right, guys, so that's a wrap on the video. So 35,000 miles with a 2017 Tacoma and about 40-something off-road trips, and I think it's done pretty well. I mean, we got a whole lot of scratches. We got some dents. I mean, that's my own fault. Next time, have sliders. So if you learn anything, protect your vehicle. Make sure you get sliders, make sure you get those things. The other thing is make sure you're always checking your fluids, make sure you're always checking your seals and all that stuff, make sure nothing's leaking, because, you know, as you can see, I have a leaky transfer case. Luckily I caught it, I'm gonna get that taken care of, and we'll be good to go there. But when you're constantly abusing your vehicle, things are gonna break, things are gonna, you know, things are gonna warp, things are gonna do all this different stuff. So just make sure you're checking that stuff. That way you're taking care of your vehicle. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe to Dirtnation Off-Road on Instagram and YouTube, as well as make sure to subscribe to Boost Addict. So as you can see, there it is right there, Boost Addict Media. So check out the new channel. Let us know what you think. Let me know what you think of the new camera. And like I said, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you again next time.